Hey, welcome back, y'all. So today we have another bird video, and now this one is from Johnny Arnett. Obviously, you guys know him. He's definitely a pioneer when it comes to YouTube basketball, and he released this video a few days ago of how this video is titled "How Larry Bird Proves the Hypocrisy of the Basketball Community." Sheesh, I didn't know he spoke on those things. Anyways, obviously you guys know we respect Larry Legend over here, so let's go and jump right in. Let's go.
What do you think about the attention that LeBron's received the last couple of years and the scrutiny and people picking apart his game?
I think you should sit back and enjoy him.
Yeah?
Because I think he's one of the greatest to ever play our game. If you're a basketball fan, you got to sit back and go, wow, how did he do that? Or I always say, boy, I wish I had his speed.
Yeah.
You know? But some of the stuff that kid does out there, he's by far, Kobe was always my favorite since I got out.
I don't like that, by the way.
But LeBron James.
It's crazy. I didn't know that Bird, was a fan of Kobe, though. I didn't know that.
Is by far our best player in this league.
I remember this interview right there. This is from, I think, maybe, 2017? I mean, this is from somewhere in the 2010s. Definitely not, recent, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, at that time, definitely LeBron was the, consensus best player in the NBA, but yeah.
I don't think there's really anyone next to him. I think he's there, then you go down the list.
I like the game that's played now. I mean, I respect the players. We had our run, and this is their time, and this is how they like to play their game, and it's like they like to be coached this way. I like to watch the game now. I like to see how it's played. A lot of people complain, but there's too many threes. I can remember a number of years ago, I was worried about the small guards. When you see Magic Johnson come in at 6'9", and the taller guards, 6'6", 6'7", come in, I was wondering where the 6'3" guys and 6'2" guys, where their place in our game was going to be. Well, all of a sudden, the three-point line opened up, and now, where's the big man going to be?
Opens new doors, whatever.
The one thing that I see happens often is
Coach Carter.
You see these old broken-down NBA players talking about their area and how great they were back then, and the players today are not as good as they were back then. That's crazy, man.
Crazy.
I mean, obviously, you haven't seen LeBron James the last 17, 18 years. You didn't see Klay Thompson score 37 points in one quarter.
I'm glad Bird is not, totally biased and everything. Like he's able to be humble and give credit, where it's due. I like that.
Or you didn't see Klay Thompson, like I did, score 60 points in 32 minutes. Or obviously, you don't see James Harden come down the lane getting ready to dunk on whoever's standing there. I mean, it's just amazing how these guys are playing the game today, and I couldn't be more prouder of it.
Young
the
Luka.
game's in a good place, and what I tell all these young players coming in today is keep the game the way you found it, and it can go on for generations to come. Thank you.
We just have to recognize that evolution is just a part of life, man. Like, you trying to tell me Giannis wouldn't be able to play an NBA game in the 70s?
Hincha, he wouldn't be able to do.
Neither would you.
Giannis Antetokounmpo would have 250 points in a game in the 70s.
Quote, I didn't watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it. They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill, you know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh my God. But now everybody.
For example, stuff like that, when they say, because I didn't know Anthony Edwards said this, but Michael Jordan was the only one during his time who had skills. Now, obviously, we're aware that Michael Jordan was, way ahead of his time, but bro, he wasn't the only one with skills, because it's you gotta. I feel like what a lot of people. I feel like they have a problem. I feel like they're having a hard time separating flashy skill versus functional skill. Because there is actually a difference. See, because I think this is where people kind of confuse skill with style. Just because something looks smoother, it doesn't mean it's more skilled. For example, it's bro, it's really it reminds me of this thing recently of how people were trying to say, they were trying to say that Michael Jordan had no bag, literally, because he didn't over dribble, because it's because most people think that a bag is really just over dribbling. They confuse over dribbling with having a bag. Just because Michael Jordan didn't need to dribble 100 times on the floor, you know, to get to his positions and score. Doesn't mean he didn't have a bag or whatever. But yeah, obviously, it's a good call back to this right there. But like, bro, like when Anthony Edwards says that Michael Jordan was the only one with skill during his time, what he really means is more like, you know, modern looking skill, tight handles, combos, all that, you know. But the thing is that, bro, skill is way bigger than just that. Like, that's only surface level, bro. Like, that's the thing, bro. Like, real skill for real, like, it comes down to more than just dribbling. It's also like footwork, you know, like, for example, guys like Hakeem or whatever, shot creation without over dribbling. You know, Bird, you know, was a specialist when it comes to this, you know, passing reads and all that with Magic Johnson and everything. Like, you know, Isaiah Thomas, whatever, playing off ball, you know, using angles and timing, all of that right there, it's in there. You know, it's not just a matter of how smooth you look, you know, with it. Okay, it's not just that, bro. Because it's like, bro, if you think that only Jordan had skill back then you're ignoring dudes like Bird, you know, who had elite shooting plus IQ. You know, Magic Johnson, who had, you know, arguably the most skilled passer ever. You know, and also Isaiah Thomas, who had, you know, handles plus, you know, control in the physical era, whatever. But that's crazy, man. I mean, but you know, we also had to acknowledge that the game was different. You know, the spacing and the freedom wasn't the same. You know, like imagine those guys from the past with the spacing and the freedom that those guys today have. You know, who knows what they would be. You know, every era has elite skill. Okay, it just shows up differently. We've just been conditioned to think, oh, skill means how deep your bag is, and not really how effective you are. But whatever.
Has skill.
There's plenty of people that have shot more, made more, and guess what? Made more at a higher percentage than Larry Bird from three. I'm not saying Larry Bird is not one of the greatest shooters ever. He's not one of the greatest three-point shooters ever.
Bro, this stuff about JJ Redick, you know, we've already debunked this, you know, in a video. Like, I think that was the first Larry Bird video I've ever made on this channel. Like, it was a video by Johnny Arnott too. It was the biggest lie or the dumbest narrative against Larry Bird, the dumbest criticism of Larry Bird. Yeah, that's the title of the video. Yeah, you guys go check that out. You know, this was already debunked. Whatever. We don't really care what JJ Redick has to say. Classic intro.
Today's video is going to be a little bit of a short one, and it's also kind of a weird one. It's not typically something I talk about on this channel, but I thought it's something that needed to be said. If you ask me, Larry Bird is one of the select few greatest players in NBA history. But I don't just think he's a talented basketball player, but I also think he's a victim and a symbol of what's wrong with the basketball community today. As you guys saw in the intro of this video, there isn't a single old school player who pays more respect to this current generation of NBA players than Larry Joe Bird. Despite his ridiculous talent, and despite the fact that he was one of the best trash talkers of his era, it's pretty easy to see that he's also extremely humble and hasn't carried that ego beyond his NBA career.
Yeah,
but for some reason, NBA fans, YouTubers, and basketball players continue to go after this guy as if he somehow offended them. A couple years ago, back when the whole "we're done with the 90s" trend was going around, a lot of young fans were justifying those shots at old school players due to the fact that a lot of former players are always saying nasty things about these current day athletes. And to a certain extent, they are right about that.
Yeah.
Especially guys like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. Those guys are frequently taking aim at a lot of today's stars.
I mean, hey, Shaq, you know, this dude, like, he literally hates every modern day big man. Like, bruh, it's like, oh my god. I mean, Shaq, it's like, bruh. It's like, bro, Shaq always thinks that, bro, like he would straight up body every single one of them, bro. Which I'm genuinely convinced he would. Honestly, he would. You know, he would actually body every single one of them. But whatever, man. Shaq is just whatever.
Calling their competition weak and finding a whole bunch of other ways to diminish their talent and accomplishments. But the one guy who has never, ever done that is Larry Bird.
Larry Legend.
This is all the proof you need that all of the shots taken at former greats of NBA history was never about getting revenge for the way modern players are treated. Because if that was the case, why are you taking aim at Larry Bird? A guy who has done nothing but build up this current generation of NBA players and continues to go to bat for them every time they put a mic in front of his face. If y'all were honest about this, and that was actually the way you felt about these things, then this would be the one guy who was always off limits. But unfortunately, that isn't our reality.
Yeah.
The truth is, whether you were
he's collateral damage for no reason, man. Whatever.
Good player, an average player, a star player, or an NBA legend, in today's day, modern fans and
these guys don't know,
are taking
man.
aim at your legacy. But the harsh truth of the situation is that these legends are only with us for so long. In the past few days, I have been making a lot of videos about a lot of players that are no longer with us. So with that being said, I challenge you guys to see this as a humble reminder to appreciate the greats while we still have them. A guy like Larry Bird is half of the reason the NBA was saved in the 1980s. A guy like Larry Bird is a major factor in why so many NBA players are insanely rich in today's game. A guy like Larry Bird is why basketball discourse today can still maintain at least a smidge of class while being surrounded by all the divisive vitriol. So what do you guys think? Has the basketball community gone too far by disrespecting players from various generations? I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Has it? I mean, what do you guys think? Has it? From my own perspective, yes, I think it did, because it's like, I think the basketball community has gone a little too far, because like the thing is that every era has, elite skill, obviously, but it just shows up differently, like that's like, comparing is fair, but discrediting players because they didn't play your style of basketball misses the full picture. So whatever, man.
Comment section below. Shout out to the members as always for supporting the channel, and thanks for watching as always.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. That was a short video. This video was only 6 minutes long in my view. We've been recording for 12 minutes, but hey. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Woo!